Hi there, this is Bibi Cameron, and today I'm passing by to share very easy card making ideas with you. The idea here is to create shaped windows and little scenes within those windows, but this is an invitation to use other frame dies and not always the traditional basic shape dies to do this. Today I'm also going to be featuring Party Puggles die set and Cheerful Kittens die set. These are part of my latest collection for Spellbinders called Bibi's Cats and Pugs. I'm going to start with the Party Puggles die set, and in this die set there are 3 dies that will create 3 different bodies for the dog. We will have the same dies to cut all the pieces to create the head. We also have 1 die that will cut the dog's back legs, and these legs will fit all the body designs. The dies emboss the paper to create guides to allow you to know where to adhere the different pieces. This is the mark for the head, but of course you can adhere the head a little bit tilted to one side or to another if you want to. To add the back legs of the dogs, all you have to do is to align the die cuts at the bottom as I'm doing there. One of these little dogs has a loose arm, and we designed it like that to be able to give some movement to that piece. That dog is going to be holding something in the hand. It could be a present, it could be a flower, a heart, anything else. The main body of the dogs is complete, and now we have to add details. Again, the dies create an embossed area to be able to place correctly the pieces for the eyes and the nose. For the ears, the flatter and longer side of the tiny little die cuts should go at the top. That will give the correct shape to the ears, but if you add them in any way you want to, that will be okay as well. I'm using very little glue to adhere all the pieces, and if you want a little bit of dimension, you can also use a double-sided foam adhesive to adhere the nose. And here I decided to use black eyes and a little tiny black nose. This is completely optional. I then discovered a way to create the eyes that make these puglets look super cute and beautiful. When creating this kind of super easy toppers for paper craft projects or felted projects or any other project we have, we always wonder about the color, so the eye color for me is key. So I decided to die cut the eyeballs out of white cardstock, and with a micro fine tip pen, I start drawing a circle around the little dots that the die will emboss in that piece. That piece is so micro tiny that you need to adhere it first before doing anything like that. So I think that these really add that final nice touch to these little dogs, but the sky's the limit. You can make them in any way you want. And the die set will allow you to create a bunch of these little dogs in time record. So these cuties are ready to go in any papercraft project you might have, and the size is absolutely perfect. They measure 2.5 inches by 1 inch 3/4. The big version of the dog measures 4.25 inches by 5.5 inches. This dies is filled with value. It also includes dies that will cut accessories for the dogs, and I have them here. You have a little flower, a party blower, and the star can be used with the stem of the flower to make a wand. You also have a party hat, a cupcake, a top hat, a bow that can be used in different ways, a dog collar that can be decorated with the star, the bow, or the flower, and it also includes dies that will cut a present. So this is the Party Puggles die set, and remember you can make these dogs in any color you might like to give them a completely different look and feel. Now we are going to see Cheerful Kittens die set. It includes 18 cutting dies to create 2 different cat designs. So we have different dies to cut the pieces for the bodies, and also dies to cut a single head that can be used with both bodies. We also have different noses and eye shapes, so we can give different expressions to the cats. I'm going to start by putting together the head. These dies also deboss the paper so you can see where to glue the smaller pieces. So we have many little pieces here, but the dies cut those pieces in one go. I'm using very little glue to adhere the pieces, and for the eyes, for example, I just add a little dot. I allow that to dry a little bit, and then I add these tiny mini pieces to complete the eyes. For me, the eyes are super important, so I'm going to give you some tips as well to create these cat eyes and to make them super cute. So we are gluing here the ears. The ears go behind the head, and I'm going to add the muzzle. We're starting by adding this large piece that is not large at all, it's tiny, but it's the largest piece there. Then we add this little piece here that looks like the shape of a bottle, and then we are going to layer up this last little piece. Last but not least, we are going to adhere the tiny micro nose. I like to die cut it out of black cardstock, and then I add it in that area. The set also includes different muzzle designs to change the appearance of the cat. And this is finished, but I just want to add a detail, and with a microfine tip pen, I just add a couple of lines in the center of the eyes. And that's it, that's the head. So now we are going to put together the two different bodies. This one here has 5 different pieces, 2 layering legs, and the die also deboss the paper so you will know exactly where to adhere the legs. You also have a space here to add this chest piece. You can adhere the head just there if you want to. And the last piece is the tail. Sadly, I didn't catch that in camera, but I just glued it behind the body of the cat. Now, for the other cat body, we have this piece here. That is the chest or fur. And then we are going to try to find those pieces that are oval, because those are the legs. And we are going to add them at the bottom of that piece, making sure that the solid lines of the oval are facing the center of the cat's body. Then we are going to add the feet. And we are going to prepare the arms to adhere this in place. So the arms have 2 pieces. We can also use the hands that we will add at the end of the arms to create this part here for the feet. This is completely optional. Now the arms need to be adhered behind the body of the cat, just like that. And the next thing we need to do is to adhere the head. And I want to show you this other head here, because for this one, I'm using the circular eyes. For the previous one, I used the ones that are more oval. So those are the 2 different eye designs we have in this die set. And we are going to adhere the head. But if we are going to use this cat for a banner, we can't not adhere the arms or the head first. We have to add the banner, then the sentiment, and on top of this you have to adhere the little hands and the cat's head. You can also adhere the head directly to your backing panel if you want to. This sweet little cat measures 3.5 inches by 1 inch 3/4, and the banner measures 3.5 inches by 3/4 of an inch. So there you go. Depending the color you use, these cats can look completely different. The other cat design that is sitting measures 2.25 inches by 2 inches. To finish, I like to apply Nuvo crystal glaze over the eyes of the cats, and these are done. Just to provide you a visual idea, I want to show you here the big cat dice that is humongous. It will create a 5.5 by 4.25 inches cat. Here we have Cheerful Kittens, that is the one we have been using in this video. And here I have the big cat die cut, and here I have the small cats. So you can compare the size of the different die cuts. If you see this one here is micro tiny next to the big one, and these small cats are great to create toppers for different paper craft projects. If you haven't seen my previous video about Bibi's, cats and pugs, You might not know what I'm talking about. Well, these two die sets are part of my latest collection for Spellbinders that also includes this die set here that will create accessories for the big animals. I have here some Christmas party glasses that will immediately add the Christmas spirit to these very generic die cuts. We also have bandanas and a bow in that die set and other two designs of party glasses for both animals. But that's something I showed in a previous video, so I'm going to link that video in the video description in case you haven't seen it. You also have here a coordinating stamp set. Please read these fan sentiments. So there is 21 sentiments here that also coordinates with the party glasses, like happy birthday. There are also sentiments that coordinates with the banner from Cheerful Kittens die set. And we also have this big bicycle die set that will create a 5 by 7 inches bicycle that also includes a pop-up element. And yes, of course, you can add the cat or the dog in the basket of the bike. You might need to avoid adding the backing legs or the tail, for example, in the cat, and you can also add them at the back of the bike to create cards for different occasions. To stamp the banners, we are going to die cut a piece of cardstock using one of the banner dies. And we are going to use that piece of cardstock as a template, and then because I'm using the sticky mat, I'm going to curve the stamps and they are going to stay in place while I close the lid of the stamping platform and I just set them in place. Now I'm going to place the banners in the negative space of the die cut template and I'm going to stamp this. It's as simple as that. To avoid getting thicker lines when stamping, apply even and gentle pressure over the lid of the stamping platform. And using a palette knife, I remove the banners from the negative spaces of that template, and some of the stamp has the curved shape, so you don't have to worry about shaping the stamps on the stamping platform. And that's pretty much it, and now we are going to put together the cards. To start, we need to die cut this solid outline shape out of a 5 by 7 inches cardstock panel. Then we are going to add a little bit of glue at the edge of a background panel that it also measures 5 inches by 7 inches. We're going to adhere this panel over, just like that. And behind the scenes, I die cut and put together some flowers I made using dies from the Fresh Picked collection by Spellbinders. These are large, absolutely gorgeous, bold florals, and they were perfect to complete these projects. But you can use any floral die cut that you might have. Using scissors, I trim any part of the die cuts that doesn't fit within that window. And if these are leaves, I then reuse them or place them in different areas of that window as fillers. I also use a little piece of paper to slit some glue underneath the leaves or the other pieces and make sure that everything is laying flat on the panel. I'm going to add one little dot in this area here, and there is room for another flower here. And then I'm going to add this other dog at the top of my scene, and I'm going to add a little flower in his hand, and I'm going to adhere another leaf behind his head, and that's how we start pulling things together. We're going to add some party accessories to the dogs, and I'm also going to add this banner here. But there is a thing that I do all the time, and is to put the banners behind the windows because I don't like the tails of the banner sticking out of the window. So this is the way I do it. And if the cardstock is stuck in that area, I use a palette knife to lift it a little bit and to give me room to slide that banner behind it. At this stage, I don't use glue. I apply glue after the banners are in place using this magic tool that is a little piece of paper. Then using another magic tool that is another piece of paper, I'm going to press everything down. I don't like to put my fingertips over the banners because I can smear the ink or the glue over them. To finish, we need to adhere the front panel over a 5 by 7 inches card base. And to embellish, we can use gems, sequins, or anything that sparkles. For this other card, I die cut also the solid shape out of a 5 by 7 inches cardstock panel. And before gluing the background piece to this panel, I'm going to adhere these large flowers there. I'm going to use very little glue, and if you see me there, I'm adding that glue in the center of each area. The reason to do this is because when you place the die cut over your cardstock and you press down, that little glue dot will be squished down and it will be spread behind the die cut, and you don't want it to reach the edges of the die cut and smear all over the place. Then we apply glue at the edges of the backing panel, and before setting this, I'm going to add an extra flower in this corner here, just as a filler. I'm going to add a little cat in that bottom corner and also a banner. I'm going to slide this banner behind the cat, and I'm going to make sure that all the elements of the card are within the window. So that's pretty much it. We then need to adhere this into a 5 by 7 inches card base, and this is done. I'm going to show you some other samples I made using the same die sets, and that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you are loving Bibi's Cats and Pugs collection for Spellbinders. There are lots of ideas on my blog. Please pay me a visit. The link is in the video description, together with the supply list and links to my Instagram account, where I share short and speedy card making videos. Do not forget to subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. Happy crafting! Bye!